yeah, what we.
That's what I was
didn't know
working
what
on
the
that
numbers
last-
were in those different
That last
funds.
spreadsheet, I had to work on a spreadsheet and figure out what was paid and what wasn't paid, and that's what, then I had him do an audit of it to check and see, go back through and see what I missed. He goes, well, I think they spent it all. I said, well, yeah, I knew that. It was spent. So there's nothing in the new building. I'm not sure how much is in edit. You did primary report. I mean,
You
edit
have
would
an
be
idea,
pretty
Tom?
close.
If you're looking at the audit, I think going through it, do you have an idea what's left in like the edit or?
Like what's been.
Yeah, that's easy, so. Yeah.
But I don't know if
What's
this-
left in the edit, because we haven't promised anything else right now.
That's what I don't know what else was
It's what's in
coming.
the cash balance.
So it's on the fund report.
Cash balance on the edit is what is, but.
And that's what, if you could.
261.
I mean, I can go through some of that. You don't want to spend all night on.
So this claim, yeah, the claim docket this time has cameras paid for, so most of everything. Most edit has been paid out. But there is rebate money coming back from the solar test and everything.
Yes.
And we just got today, but tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're
There is,
all this tax
it
money.
is, they don't have what they build the gas
Which
station.
was a total of 90.
Yeah, it's now, that's in prison. They're just building it. Yeah. Gas station. What state's in it, what state's are going to state. Whoever comes in with their pumps and that, they do, that's how they do it. They control the station, they don't control what gas station, they own the station.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is,
Okay, we gotta get this special meeting out of the way,
Yes.
special session.
Sorry, Chair.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that ordinance.
He said he got 4 o'clock ran over, he's on the way. He sent me a text. He sent that at, sorry. He sent that at 6:08. So he was leaving his office at 6:08.
Amy,
Yeah, I'll be back. It's about, yeah, he should be pulling his budget.
the one to be introduced.
I have all these, yes, they're all over here. I have more papers for you, I just need them all over here. Then one of them get lost in your shuffle.
Okay.
That could happen.
Good, call to order the public hearing, special session to introduce ordinance 2024-04. This will be discussed tonight in the meeting that follows immediately after this short commercial break. We are introducing an ordinance to increase the fire territory equipment replacement fund from, oh goodness, it's not,
Point,
like 0.275.
0.03000 to 0.03333.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That does not affect your personal property taxes at all. That just moves what is already allocated from one piece of the pie to another. But we have to have a hearing to do so. So with that, I'll look for a motion to approve the
No, you're.
introduction.
We don't need,
No,
This is just the hearing.
This is just the hearing. You're open this to the public for public comment for or against. And then it'll close and then it'll go to us.
Okay.
Full board.
So just any questions?
Questions or comments?
Any questions or comments from the
For or
public?
against.
We're good.
sounds like
See.
a good idea.
Thank you.
Seeing that, I move we close the hearing.
Okay. All right. And do it again. Now, the regular session is open. Yeah.
Let's like jump.
Today, probably.
We're all standing for you, John.
Oh, I appreciate that. You took my hat off.
All right. Oh, let's open it for
Lord, we thank you for this opportunity to represent the town, represent the people who live here. Pray, Lord, that you would give us wisdom and guidance and direction. I pray, Lord, that what's done here will affect all well, and the future of our children and grandchildren would be solid. Let's pray that in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's a game you guys play, just keep moving it.
I was gonna accuse John of turning his back on the US flag.
They have it 3 or 4 different places. So.
Set you up.
Doing good, doing good, sir. 4 o'clock and over.
It happens.
Oh.
Ready to roll call.
Brady Hurley, here. Steve Rogan,
Here.
Tom Roberts,
Here.
Bill Walters,
Here.
Adam Jones.
Yep, looking for a motion to approve the April minutes, if everyone is comfortable with that.
So move.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
On to the regional wastewater monthly report.
Routine things.
Nothing new under the
I
sun.
know they're working on that project still.
We give, just an update, we give the Overlook 2 weeks. We give them an extra 2 weeks to finish the construction, and then they had 30 days to finish the septic removal after the line was high pressure test that had gone on. Everything is in. I don't see where they have any trouble finishing up in time. I've been by it 2 or 3 times. It's come together. I have no negative report from Jason.
I know they had a little problem with the high pressure test.
They had you got
Comment.
unique gauges, and it was,
Yeah.
they found it wasn't it was their equipment, it wasn't the lines they
Oh,
put
that's
in, they got new gauges, things tested out, and then they go forward from there, so yeah, everything's good, it should be done in the next 30 days.
Yeah.
It'll be done, moved on. I'm sorry?
All right, claim docket. And all the financial reports. Sorry about that, I have not had a chance to get through here and send those out. That one.
Claim docket should be there. Payroll thing. Oh, yeah, I need to, you can pass the folder down here. That's just all documentation.
Someone make a motion.
That's what I was looking for.
I'll make a motion to approve the claim docket for the amount of $280,134.29.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
And the appropriations report.
Well, the employee distribution and the revenue just get passed.
Yes.
We don't have to
Pass them
I'm
on.
looking at bank records. I don't know.
We've got it down here.
So, well, what I wanted to mention on the claim docket, yeah, sorry, yes, appropriation report, is the fact that our, would be our spring tax disbursement should be in, you said tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
Yeah, and that was,
a total of about 92,000 is our early distribution, and that's CCD, park, and just general property. General property is is the bulk of it. But
And that comes at the end of June.
it'll be early distributions tomorrow. I just got a notice today.
That's what I mean,
Yeah,
the
then we'll get
early was
another one.
92, but did they give you an idea on the June one?
No,
To be determined over who pays their taxes.
oh, we don't know, yeah, I don't get an amount
Because
until I
it's
see
not-
it in the mail.
Okay.
my brain shut down, anything else have to be approved in this section?
Just sign.
Just that someone had to sign off on the bank record.
Yes.
I'm doing that right now.
Okay.
I'm missing.
Amy, I had one question. Why do we make a payment to the IRS?
EFTPS payment,
Oh, okay.
Employees, probably.
yeah. It's a good,
Used to be the old FICA, what we used to call FICA, okay.
And then quarterly, I have to
I
do
didn't
a
know that,
report.
but-
I have to do a report on all this.
Yeah, I didn't have one. Before we get started on departmental reports, let's get quick trip taken care of. So we'll start with, there's a couple things. I know you had some survey documents for us to sign.
The plat.
Yep, plat, and then the other side of it was BZA. Let's get all that taken care of at once. We'll start with BZA. Did you have based off the meeting, did you have a recommendation for us?
Yeah, recommend, based off the BZA, may recommend to approve their variance of landscaping and their sign variance.
Okay. So with that, I will look for a motion to approve
So
the zoning variance for Quick Trip. And that just specifically revolves around the landscaping and the height of their sign. And I've got a first, can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay.
comes the signature.
There are 6 that have to be signed. Mylar and this. That's what the county told us.
You know what? And those tables are now gone. There was tables out there earlier. That would be absolutely perfect.
I can't tell if there's a table back in that room.
And then we did have a mountain, and they,
The president and 2 members, and then she has to sign it. And then I've got to leave it for Sally. Sally has to come in and sign it.
Okay.
Because she could be here.
I made a mistake last month and I signed it in the wrong color. It's black. Yes.
yes, black is okay, you just gotta make sure what.
I think you did red.
Yeah.
Don't use a gel pen.
Red, but
Don't use a gel pen.
All right.
and you can't use a gel thing.
I signed president.
President and their board of trustees.
And president and board of trustees.
No, under board of trustees. You would say president, under board of trustees.
Yeah, I signed it in the wrong place already. I'm gonna take some white out.
I actually just cross that out and sign it. Okay. Hopefully the county will.
I don't know how big they are.
All right, who's gonna be the second and third members?
Tom and
It only takes 2 of you.
The last one for you. I remember them talking. They used to have bigger numbers for the NBA.
Sorry, golf cart.
These are your Delaware County rules, so.
Basically, that's what.
And I have all of my
Absolutely.
documents for the water.
God bless you.
That should be a.
Yeah.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, 'cause I think that just goes to the district.
That just goes, yeah, that.
Well, but what about the water line?
People be-
Water line is controlled by the town, sanitary is controlled by the municipality.
Okay.
It's not a level.
We're granting a water easement and sewer.
Right, so water, yeah, John?
Saving it, but I don't, but what we're granting it to you.
John, you're granting the easement to us for the water and sewer. We are the water, no, we're paying the wastewater district is the sanitary.
No, I think Danielle about that because the way the sewer is connected to the pilot, which is linked in directly to Chesterfield.
It's Chesterfield, that's not ours.
The sewer belongs to Delta. That's what I understand the whole process was.
No, other way around. The Quick Trip went to Chesterfield, Walworth went to Delta, went to Delta.
But I thought the sewer that is for the Quick Trip, yeah, whatever section it is not Chesterfield, it's Delta.
It's Delta, okay, we're talking the
Yeah.
backside, going to the lot by Wesco.
Yeah.
Yes, that easement back there goes to Delta. You're
Right.
right, you're right, that goes to Delta.
But,
Both of them.
okay.
'Cause
I don't
the
think you
reason
guys can approve anything.
No.
We're granting
you're granting the easement,
easement.
yeah. We just need the documents.
Well, we'll need the easement, but there also should be language in the easement that the town board accepts the easement granted.
Okay.
Okay?
I will take another look at it. We got the easement documents then, our attorney reviewed it, we sent it back to them, and the attorney accepted our markup.
Which brings that,
Yeah, so that's what.
The attorney for the.
Yeah, I was explaining how I like to
For
use
the
water.
regional wastewater
I
district.
guess so.
Danielle.
That'd be Danielle.
Okay. All right. Okay.
John can check into it on our behalf,
And
and
then we
then he'll find out where
simplified
we're at, just find out where we're at, and if there needs to be one, because like you said, it would go to the town.
Yeah.
Because that nears is so, because there's no sanitary back there as of yet until we open that other.
Right,
end.
well, we've got to get the documents signed so you guys can.
Right.
install it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. I do the back. Okay, I will just text her and let her know.
I'm here to write.
Okay, okay.
Pick them up, then I can take a look.
Okay, wait, do I have your, okay, okay, okay.
No, okay.
You start on. Go ahead.
All right, let's start with departmental reports, sanitation.
There is no new updates.
One thing is like,
Okay.
if we could make sure that recycling and big pickup is the same weekend. In other words, don't do it, because that recycling bin was stuck full of trash.
Gotcha.
And I did, because.
We won't run into that again till October.
Yeah,
Right.
when the next one. Okay. I will make sure.
And then the recycling, I did, there's a lot of stuff going across the listserv this last week. Cities and towns talking about how recycling is not really recycling anymore. Basically, you put it in the trash, recycling bin, they throw it in the same pile as all the other trash. It's just a myth.
Yeah.
And so I actually caught the guy. He delivered the bin Saturday morning and I caught him and I asked him, I said, so what do you guys do? He says, we take our stuff to East Central Indiana Recycling. And he says, they do separate it out based on what it is and certain, and most of it gets recycled.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Water?
Nothing really going on with water. I do have a list for water, if I can combine streets and water.
While you're looking, I appreciate what Brad and Dan did in moving the porta potties in the middle of the flood.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. They waded out into the river of Westwood Park and tied down the porta pots so they wouldn't go down the river to Anderson or
Yeah,
Chesterfield.
they brought them up to the front of the park.
Yeah, Brad had to help
Yeah.
them. We gone to check the river and they
Yeah,
were there to move them.
That was quick thinking.
Now, I'm gonna give you, again, I'm just doing this so you know that they actually are very busy. Dan, Brad, and the some guy, Dennis Halter. Dennis has been a blessing to that crew. He is a worker.
Good.
And so,
Good to know.
I'm gonna go through some of these, just to give you an idea. Replace, repair, playground, painted rooftops on the playground, but you may notice that's been painted black. Attended maintenance expo, filled in potholes on Walnut, moved unkept yard, mowed. Put my glasses on. I'm getting old. Mowed stormwater yards on Atlee Street. So that goes back to the promise that we made for mowing that until we figure out what we're gonna do. Pick up limbs and branches, Shellbarger Park, flag area for new dog parks, install new parking lot on Town Hall, spray weeds in Shellbarger, remove timbers in playground area, dug underneath the sidewalk for a new electrical line. They got the splash pad ready. I think it was tested and is ready to go, but if you drive through the splash park and it is just a gem. I'm telling you, it is manicured and it is gorgeous. I just think we should be proud of that as just a beautiful East Central Indiana area for people to enjoy. Let's see what else here real quick. Sorry to take up your time. They worked on that Polaris Ranger and it's up and running now. They updated the fire extinguishers, painted park bathroom doors, and repaired the water fountain. You cannot get parts for water fountains anymore ever since COVID. So they actually had to be creative to get the
Saw
water
them digging
fountains
it
to
up.
work.
Saw it digging up today.
Yeah. And I think it's probably because the mouse touching the device or whatever, most of the kids do that. And so they can't even find parts for them anymore. So anyway, that gives you an idea of some of the work they do.
Baker Tilly not Baker Tilly, Commonwealth had some new guns this past week about asking.
But the water loss.
Yes, about the water loss.
Right, I forward it, usually, we're not in a hurry. Trina does all the work. Trina and Brad and Dan Wooten do all the work at putting the numbers together, everything. And then it used to be that, Pete Olson from Yorktown would do the certification. You have to have someone independent do the
But they've
certification.
got somebody that's needing certification hours, so they're going to certify.
Yeah, so we're good, right?
We're
So we
good.
have someone, we don't have to pay Commonwealth to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good.
All right.
I think that's everything. Anybody have anything?
Anything on the streets?
I kind of covered that, but,
Okay. Kristen, planning and zoning?
Okay, in our meeting, we discussed the GRK properties on West Commerce, which is located behind the liquor store. They were sent a letter a while back to clean up the property. The one brother lives out in the country, so it has not been cleaned up, and we've now seen that there's vehicles back there. We would like to go ahead and send our guys in to clean up the property, because they're past their time.
Are the vehicles in the way of getting it?
That I don't
cleaned
know,
up?
I have not seen them. Brad saw them.
That's what I'm wondering. Park the vehicles strategically so they get cleaned up.
my only concern is the time it might take to do it. We may have to hire it done and then bill them.
Yeah.
You know, so,
But-
because our guys are really busy right now.
So at least send somebody out there to get it clean.
That's along the lines of what I was saying. Like, any rough idea of what all has to be done?
It's, Todd, do you still have the picture?
There's I don't know how much wood planking's left out there. There was a pile of tires back toward the railroad track at the edge of that property. It's all, just all the debris along that access road, go back into the old,
And so you gotta figure out who's doing the
Before
dumping.
trying to look, see if we got the picture. I got it somewhere.
So we hire somebody else.
No, behind the liquor
There's
store.
not a tire disposal.
Behind the liquor store still.
Or-
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it's really weird out in that area where the cutoff is, yeah, that's still.
Yeah, so we survey.
Yeah, but I'll let them know that you're going down here, Brad, with the truck, you're going back, I mean, wait for that property. Scoop up the rock, you'll probably clean it up.
If it gets beyond that.
Yeah. Then you-
Well, then you gotta figure out where you're gonna dispose the tires.
Fire department.
Right.
And then the other one we had was, 14199 West Main, which I think is the correct address. They still have not replaced their siding. That wrap's been there for years. They finally cleaned up the tree. So we didn't know what the fine was that we can do for not doing the siding part. And I did find, I can't figure out the article, what that is on our ordinance for that one.
Get that down.
What was the address again?
14199 West Main Street. It's where Tennessee tees into 32, so if you went across 32 from
West side
Tennessee,
of 30.
or Tennessee, you hit it.
I'm pretty happy with it, getting the trees out. This
I
tree
know.
was sitting there for a year, it seemed like.
And it's probably
More than that?
3 or 4 years.
More than
It's been a while.
I'm thrilled to death they got the trees out.
I know.
No.
I'm just tired of looking at the words on the side of the house.
Tyvek. Thought that was their name.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it for us.
Thank
Huh?
you. Chief?
We have one officer that's gonna be off for a while, Officer Combs. Amy, did you guys figure out, is he gonna be able to go on workman's comp?
He has, we've begun the process, we just have not heard back from Workman's Comp nor he has, short-term disability separate from us. And neither one of those have notified us. They did do, Workman's Comp did do an interview with him. And he was scheduled to go
He
through
went to the
surgery, but
doctor
now
today.
they're going to send him to their own doctor, so.
Yeah, I believe he went there today, and they are talking about surgery.
Oh, see, I haven't heard anymore.
Yeah, so he's probably gonna be off for a while, like back surgery. John, one thing that I would like to know, if he's off on the part-time disability, would that free up any of his salary if we have to hire a part-time person until he comes back? Could we use that salary to hire a part-time person?
You could, because he wouldn't be being paid out of that particular line item. He'd be getting either short-term disability or workers' comp, which is not appropriated, it's all from the insurance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I would start to look at, because I don't know how long he's gonna be off. And if he comes back or not, I really don't know right now. But it would be nice if we were able, while he's off, to find a part-time person to fill that spot.
You would probably have to move money from his line item
Over into part-time.
Yep.
Can we delay it until we find out whether or not he's gonna be covered, at least by word or mouth or something? Or
Right, only thing I would ask tonight, like, if you guys, if he's going to be off on workman's comp or the part-time disability, if you guys could give me the blessing to actually start looking for a part-time person to fill that spot.
Sure.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, would that be a starting salary? But just.
That would be, me personally, I'd be looking at around $20 an hour, because I think anything lower than that to try to get a part-time police officer.
Well, I meant whatever our base,
I think their base is around 22. Amy, is it around 22 an hour? 22, 23 an hour now?
Base.
I'm not sure.
Because I think they're a little over, maybe a little over $40,000. 42, 45,000 an hour now.
Could we not use the SRO officers as soon as school's out? Is that,
We have one, we will be using one of the SROs, but we have another one that's in the academy that will not graduate until.
Until August.
Yeah, we want to make sure everybody, I don't want to tell people they can't take their vacations and all of that
Oh, yeah.
stuff. We're not going to use up all the funding, but it would be nice to have somebody that can fill some of these
They were
areas.
given the authority to appoint somebody, and then when we get the word, we'll know what the difference is between that, because we have to put 20 an hour. I mean, part-time, what are we looking at, 30 hours?
Yeah.
And then we'll get to
Has to
that
be up
30
to
hours.
you.
What,
Yeah.
what shift are you thinking about covering?
Hmm.
What shift are you thinking about covering?
More or less whenever somebody's going to go on vacation.
Okay.
It could be days, it could be afternoons, it could be midnights, however it goes. Because I know some of them's going to be going to different trainings over the summer, some of them's going to be going to conferences over the summer. So those areas, we probably want to make sure that they're covered.
You looking to just use one of our reserves? You already have it?
No, I'll have to find somebody that's already an academy graduate.
Yeah.
Because if we take on the reserves, we pay them part-time, then we have to send them to the academy.
I don't see a problem with window shopping. And what he wants approval.
You need a formal motion?
I don't
I
think
think
so.
we need to
Okay.
find one.
I don't think, John, with the part-time, if they just tell me I can hire part-time, do
You'll
we
have
have to
to-
have a
yeah.
motion to do it?
No, you can hire part-time, you just have to make, they'll have to approve the motion, to make the transfer.
Right, once we find out what it is.
Yeah.
So we good on that?
Yeah. Start looking.
The second thing, within the next couple of weeks, we did get approved for the bulletproof vest grant. That's about that time of year. The vests are only good for about 5 years, then we have to replace them. We've got up to, we can spend $30,000, and that will get almost, well, that will get every police officer a vest. And then and Amy's done this before, and then I turn the receipt into her, then we send it back, and we get half of whatever we pay for the vest back.
The half match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to inform you guys that I will be getting them fitted within the next couple of weeks. And then it probably takes another 30 to 60 days for us to get the vest in. So that will probably end up be coming around. And I think there should be money in that FFE, because we discussed that at one point in time, that there'd be a certain amount of money that will be set aside for these items that we needed. So are we gonna be able to use that, or?
We'll just use that at,
Okay.
that's all right for everybody.
It's 30K, and then we get 15 of that back.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure that when this is done, that I think that's about it.
Okay.
You guys have any
Good,
questions?
I don't have anything. Keep looking.
Hopefully everybody's happy, Chris, and keep them off 32 and slowing them down, so.
Good, yes.
It has been.
If we could go back, Mr. President, to the planning and zoning, there was a question about the fines
Yes,
under, section 10.99 of the code. The general penalty is any person, firm, or corporation who violates any provision of this code, which would be a nuisance, which another penalty is not specifically provided, shall upon conviction be subject to the following: a fine not exceeding $2,500 for the first violation.
Okay.
There are provisions within the code about nuisances and the cost to clean it up and the cost being assessed against them and all those, which is a separate matter, but that's not really a fine or, that's a cost of doing business. So are you intent on cleaning it up yourself, or you just want to fine them to get their attention, or?
probably find them, get their attention, because they gotta have siding put on their house, that's what the big thing is.
Okay.
For this one out here, it's they need
All right.
siding put on.
So the process would be that you're in violation of the ordinances, it's a public nuisance, you need to get your house cited. Under the code, the fine would be up to $2,500 for a violation. You have X number of days to get this done.
Okay.
Okay? And then you can then take them to court and fine them the $2,500. Okay?
So you're gonna send a letter, pressing letter?
I guess so.
You're John.
You want me to send the
I was gonna
president
say,
letter?
would
to
that
him?
not be better to have John say?
Yeah.
Yes, it would be good to come from the lawyer.
I'll get with you after the meeting and
Okay.
we'll get all the particulars, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So I just wanted to fill you in on that, so you asked me to look at that, so.
Yeah, thank you. Park Department.
We had a meeting yesterday. We met with Dan Lake from Huser, who's doing our plan, and we went over our first steps for starting the plan. We're going to, Park Board and Dan are going to come up with Survey Monkey questions, which will be sent out to all the residents, and we're going to work on a mission statement for the parks. And then we will get word of the survey out by Facebook, website, reach alert, everything we can to get as much participation as possible. So for our June meeting, that's what we'll be working on.
Okay.
And we're working on getting more grants. We found a grant for a sunshade. All we have to do is have a sunscreen station for a year, and then we can apply and get $5,000. So we're gonna get a sunscreen that you can have at your splash pad, and which would probably be nice to have there anyway. So
Available, like at the,
it'll be just on a stand that somewhere near the corner of the bathroom, hopefully. It could be a potential mess, I suppose, if people want to be messy with it. But
that's available upon request at the splash pad workers.
yeah, well, I don't know, however we want to do it, but we're researching.
Pretty close to wherever there's water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, near the bathrooms.
The kids will do it.
Yeah.
Be able to wash it off.
Put it out where the camera can see it.
Yeah.
That's true. So that was the biggest thing. We just reviewed our events and stuff. Oh, we've gotten grant money from Walmart to resurface the basketball court at Shellfire, so our first phase of getting that. So we've got enough money to do that part, and we're going to do that.
Cool.
Walmart gave us $2,000. And that's about how much we need to. So we're gonna do it bit by bit, so.
Awesome, okay.
Great.
Is that it for parks?
Hey, Amy, I have one question. You were talking about the 5-year plan, you're doing the Survey Monkey, you're doing the Facebook notice, and there's something else you said, but I didn't get it.
We're gonna work on the Survey Monkey questions and the mission statement.
Mission statement, that was it. Thank you.
And the Survey Monkey questions will go out to the public.
Did you touch on the fact that they reviewed the old plan and then we actually followed it?
Oh, yeah,
We
that
did a good
was,
job with it.
they looked up our previous plan and a lot of things, goals that we had, you know, the town hall park. We had done ADA compliant picnic tables. We had done just some different little, smaller things that we had completed. So the trails is on there, but we'll put it on the next one too, and hopefully we can.
Come up with $1 million plus $1 million.
Well, and the thing about the trails, he did bring up, he said, you have put sidewalks in, which is part of the trail process, so it's just the bigger part. And on our goals, connect to the Greenway, that was one of them, it's not done yet.
There's another one too, I don't forget, which railroad is this through here? Is it Norfolk Southern?
CSX.
I don't know about that. Norfolk Southern got a $50,000 grant. They give out to a lot of the towns that have a train going through it. I'll just check with CSX. I have not.
That'd be good, but it'd just be nice if CSX would paint the crappy train trestle that's across 69. You can't get them to do that either.
I talked to them about that before and they said,
Yeah. It's one of those, ask for forgiveness later.
Okay. Move on to new business. We've got 2 invoices through Baker Tilly to approve. The first one is for the stormwater asset management plan.
this here should have been paid to the stormwater grant. I think we can go ahead and pay for it and then we should submit it.
As I said, we just got that, and that was after
Yeah, I
they
know.
had closed everything out.
This is
So,
dated
that's-
September 21st, so that should have been submitted and paid way back.
Mhm.
And so, like I said, we have money in our stormwater fund here because it's building up.
But let me do some more research, because they tried to bill us on something else before, and
That got paid. or
and
was-
it had already been paid, and I showed them that it had already been
Well,
paid.
let's go ahead and approve it contingent.
Yeah.
Or,
Because you want to get that paid, but
yeah, and we have the money, but even if we do owe it, then I think we should submit it and get it reimbursed.
through the SRF,
Through
I can do
SRF.
that.
Now, does that come out of the contingency?
How much is it?
15,
15,000? Yeah, we're sitting on 41, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now we have almost $42,000
Yep.
in the fund, so.
So moved.
I'll second.
Then all in favor?
Aye.
And then the Baker Tilly invoice for the water rate study, that one is due, and that was more current. It's $10,000. So I would suggest that we fund that out of water. I just had, water, that was one.
That'll help me probably.
Water utility operating,
Good. Probably nothing there.
358.
That's going down. What have we been spending? I gotta check that out. Yeah, it's water operating.
Yeah, we put 143,000 out year to date.
Wow.
Water utility operating.
Brad, get that truck, no?
I haven't seen it.
It's not the driveway.
Yeah.
It's not the drug. So can I get a motion for that?
So moved.
All in favor?
You got a second?
Oh, don't,
I'll second.
yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
67, yeah, that's 57.
Hey, Tom, how does that affect the proposed stormwater building? If we start
If
chipping
we
away?
could cut 15 out of that, but if you want me to tell you, we still have not gotten an answer from them. We have,
Or acceptable.
the money left over, we gave them a list
Right.
of stuff, and we cannot get an answer out of them. And we're being patient, although I have asked several times, and so it's Darren Wells, and they just are not responding now.
So who's not responding?
Randy, out of SRF.
SRS.
So I don't know what the holdup is. Maybe they're just waiting to make sure there's no expenditures like this month that are coming in.
It'd be decent for them to mention, I guess.
Yeah, they could at least say that.
Respond.
Oh, but you're probably on vacation.
Bill and or Steve,
Yeah.
any update on the grocery store?
Go ahead.
We had a meeting set up, it was postponed because the owner, or not the owner, president couldn't be present. President couldn't be present. And so we're trying to get that rescheduled. I've got a call in, but I haven't gotten a response back yet. But the intention would be that we'd have a meeting with myself and Brad with representatives from Harvest and talk, just talk what ifs, get all the information, and see.
Okay.
As far as I know, they're still interested.
Any idea on what their current rent is and what their plan is at the end of their lease?
Their lease is up this year. I think what they'd like to do, they'd like a better location than where they're at.
Well, I mean, at the end of their lease, can they go month to month, do you know, or are they gonna have to
Oh, where
sign
they're at?
another extended lease? Yeah.
I do not know.
Steve, do you know what they pay a square foot over there?
If what?
Square foot, do you know how much they pay over there?
No,
So you don't.
don't
know
have
what they
that
pay in the
information.
lease?
That was information that Brad was trying to get. So we'll try to get that through that meeting. Yeah.
Because if they plan on like building over here, you probably want to know what the square footage is. and if
Oh, yeah, we know square footage and parking spaces.
But what I mean, what they're paying.
What they're
in the
paying, we
lease.
don't
So
know.
when you get a developer to come over here and build, and you tell them you've already got a tenant, they know how much
Right.
they can charge, because they'll charge them by the square foot.
Yep.
Because a lot of that, to move forward, you'd want to know a lot of that information, because to get a developer to come in here,
Yeah. Whether
tell
they'll
them they
work
got
or
a
not.
tenant, this is what's,
Absolutely.
it'll be a lot easier. But you said their lease is up at this year.
Sometime this year.
Yeah. If you have to build one, how long will it take to build location and where they're at now, would they be able to go on month to month until this was?
Extend what they're doing, yeah. Yeah, that was the reason for that meeting, was to get that information all hashed out. See if it's even feasible to move forward or not.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the interlocal agreement. In this case, what the subject matter was the use of the lift by the school, the town's lift by the school. Everybody saw the discussion points on that?
Yes.
Okay. And
I'd done one before for some other equipment, and I thought, why not just make it rather than do an interlocal agreement every time, which cuts out my fees for me, but that's okay. Make a mutual one that you guys can borrow equipment back for.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
as long as they go for it, I'm good with it. So I'll look for a motion to approve the agreement.
I'll do the motion to approve the agreement.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Signatures.
Park impact fees. I remember this, Amy, this was the ability at the start of a new build project, whether it's residential or business, to attach the impact fee to help capture some park funds.
It's just something that came across other towns were doing and discussion. Wouldn't affect anyone who's already a resident and already has, it would be new builds only, so. I don't know how you determine it, I don't know.
Yeah, I thought so, to kind of research.
Had some ideas about that.
Yeah, we had the discussion after the meeting. So a lot of communities do have impact fees. I know I'm used to seeing them down in Hamilton County. Noblesville, Zionsville, over in Boone County has them. But the impact fees are primarily to reduce development. Particularly, they want to make it a little more expensive because of the cost of development. I know that Noblesville, for example, has a $15,000 or $20,000 impact fee for a new gas station. They want to make it expensive so that if you want to site a new gas station in there, it's going to cost you some money to do that. Other communities do it if they have special projects that they want to attach to it. The discussion out in the listserv and talking with other attorneys is it has some negative impact on development, it has some positive impact on the town. It's just kind of all over the board when you have a fee on top of your building fee that makes it more expensive to do a house or do a building or whatever. And so it's one way to, generate some fees for the town to impact the park. But it may not have the impact that you're hoping for because it may make it too expensive to build a house.
Mm-hmm.
Any other fee on top, particularly given the housing cost today.
Yeah.
Adding fees on top of that may make it prohibitive. Do you have a tax for the park, don't you, or did you not adopt one yet?
It's part of the general fund. I mean, it's just
Okay,
shared with the general fund.
Shared from the general
We took a
fund.
portion out of the general fund and put it in
okay,
the park.
There's a portion designated for park, yeah.
okay. Is it just something that you appropriate every year, or is it a specific tax that goes dedicated to the park? Because the parks have the ability for taxes, but it wraps up to that 1%, 2% stuff.
Yeah, well, I don't know how to explain it, but basically, we have a tax rate for the general fund. Let's say it's, 0.75. Well, we took 0.25 and said, move it to the park.
Okay,
And we'll leave 0.50 at the general fund.
okay, all
So we
right.
just shared it with the park directly.
Okay, basically, that's what I was trying to find out, that you do have, because, if you have a park tax, then that just deletes from the general fund because the 1%, 2% stuff, you only
Right,
get
yeah.
Right.
That's
so
what
much
we-
money that you just cut it down. Do you have a CCD tax?
We have that portion too.
Okay. The CCD can be used for the park, for capital improvements in the park if you want. CC,
We pretty much use that when we,
okay. all right.
it's designated.
Anything that's designated for park gets sucked up.
Is it CCD or CCI you can use to pay your insurance?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we use it for
Okay,
now.
all right, I'm just trying to be
Well, I
clear.
know that, but yeah, we pretty much
Yeah.
use it all.
And I know the park board, at least at one time there was a separate 501c3 or C4 corp set up, wasn't there?
Yeah, we have the park, Devo Parks Inc.
Yeah,
We had to have that to be able to do,
to get grants and stuff, yeah.
so we have that to do our grants, and that's what we've been using.
Right.
And we
So-
apply for grant, I mean, we're,
I know you guys are applying for grants all the time,
Yeah.
to get as much as you can, and I can appreciate that. So the impact fee is something that you would designate on top of a building permit fee or whatever else that would be for new construction.
So the question is, do we want to go that route with the idea that it might restrict
I
growth,
think it depends on what we're thinking about doing.
the amount?
So we can go out, and we can still think about this. And I can go out and look at and find other towns or that have created it for the park and see what charging, how they base their charges on.
Put it out there on the municipal list, I'll be able to come back. and
Yeah.
supplement. That's why I said to Adam, I think we need to grab some and see, then we can all take a look at.
Yeah.
Maybe come up with something out of that.
Yeah, the park may be one of those impact fees that people like because it goes to the park. But, once again, that's,
Well,
I mean, we've already come up with, like, we had, well, Trina, she's done amazing, but we have people, the monthly donors that are already donating to our park fund and donations, and, our events, we try to incorporate, we make a little bit of money on each event, so.
Those are
Trying to
tax
sustain.
deductible. Yes.
Basically, the park budget pays for chemicals, landscaping, the general operating, so.
So just as an example, I'm not gonna keep reading any more of these, but this is one I found at Plainfield real quick. And it's a park and rec impact fee. And a single family home would be charged $2,533 for a brand new home to be built, additional, and that would go to the park. Anything else like duplex unit, condo unit, townhome, apartment would be $1,700, $1,723. See, that's the kind of thing. And the Plainfield's a
they
big
have
example.
a pretty robust,
Right.
development
That's
too.
different.
Yeah.
So
We can't compare to-
They are trying to, they're like Noblesville, they're trying to restrict
Yeah.
their development, because they
Yeah.
can't keep up with that, their infrastructure is overwhelmed. That's what it's
We would wanna go that way.
And yeah, we don't want to discourage them, that's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, that would be my only concern.
I think I'm not against it. I just think there's probably better ways to have more consistent revenue coming into the park. We haven't looked at the parking at all. Just no one's had the time to mess with it. But I think that impact fee, especially if it's on businesses and a modest amount, would be just gravy. And, this year we get an extra $2,000 or $3,000 because something came in. But I don't think we should be doing something especially to stifle residential growth.
Well, if we do it, with that thought in mind, I'm thinking commercially, I'm not so concerned about what kind of fees we charge, because they're gonna do what they're gonna do. But from a residential standpoint, that's the place I think we need to be careful, because I think we do wanna grow residentially.
It seems though, that they aren't charging the businesses because they're not ones that would use the park. The whole reasoning behind it is that they're gonna, people moving in or buying and building a new house, are gonna use the park over here that we've already paid for. The taxpayers have already paid for.
Yeah.
So, nothing ever gets.
Okay.
Okay. What are we doing today? Cities and towns month proclamation? I am not reading.
Well, just approve it.
Where's it at?
He's got it over there.
What do we
I
got?
think it is. There's a paper somewhere. Or maybe maybe you kept it last time so you didn't have to do it again. You might have kept it, because that's just on paper.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Okay, then you're not doing it.
Okay, 5-year town plan.
I don't think we're ready to deal with that yet. You got any more information on it?
No, I reported at last meeting, we were turned down by Okra, we were outside of the low to moderate income. I think at that time, we needed this, that falls just on us, due to the increased value in the community and how we kind of stepped up out of the low to moderate income. That will have to fund. I think when we talked last time, we were looking to wait and see what the disbursements were in June, and then in December, we may look at the TIF district or edit funds and or a combination of both.
And maybe we'll get the rebate money.
Could get that, but I think we talked at that, and I think his number was 35,000.
Yeah.
I think remember, we paid 65,000 the first time around, and that was almost 10 years ago that we did that. So, I mean, 35 to update is more than reasonable, but it's just coming up with the fund.
What we got to pay for.
When the TIF kids next?
Those should come at the same
It's
time.
at the same time.
Yeah, we'll hit it June and December, so did they don't send you any
Not
free
yet,
on those?
it's given to me separate, but I only got the
Understood.
one, the general one today.
I say we wait on that to make a decision if we see what the draws are, what taxes come in for the first half of the year.
Okay, I agree. Water loan pay down.
I'm sorry.
Water loan pay down?
How much do we owe in that, Amy? You know? The water loan?
No, you would have told me you were gonna do that, but
That's on the agenda.
I'm not sure how much it is, maybe 30, somewhere, maybe 30,
Range?
40? I'm gonna guess.
Let's wait until next month.
Well, we just dropped that
You need to
down
see how much
57. I mean, when you looking at the water utility, did it take a portion of that out? We spent 142, we just dropped another 10 out of that.
I know.
We're down to
That's why I
57.
want to wait
I was
another.
gonna say, yeah.
It's not something we have to do, but, I mean,
Right.
it's something that, and usually, to be honest, we usually do it at the end of the year.
When we see
But
what
we
the
didn't do
surplus is.
anything last year, at the end of the year about that. We just kind of, I think, forgot. So,
And I
I
want
mean,
to
it could be something we could just put off till December and see the financial situation and do it. We have a loan for when we got the meters.
Right.
Like
What's the
2%.
interest rate?
So, right?
Well, it would be whatever. It's
And all I'm
probably
paying is the interest.
not. It was probably, or based on like the prime rate or something.
Yeah.
Prime plus.
You know,
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's not bad.
So all we've been paying on is the interest.
Until, well, not all, because we paid it down.
We paid big chunks, we
Yeah.
paid chunks when
It
we
was
first
like
got that.
150 or 200.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we
were
paid it
paying
down
$25,000
each year,
a pop every
with
year.
an extra money.
Let me take a look because at the water utility detail and see if there isn't something in the operating that we paid for that should have been in capital maintenance.
Moved out of there.
Yeah.
I was
So
gonna
let
ask
me
you the
do a
same
little
thing.
audit of that number, and then we'll talk about it next month.
Sounds good. All right, thank you. And then the last official thing is, since we introduced the ordinance, John, in the special meeting, to adopt this, we need to suspend the rules, correct?
When did you introduce it?
No, we didn't.
I don't think it's been
We gotta
introduced.
go through the whole
That's been
thing.
Let's do the whole thing.
here, yeah.
So we need to introduce.
You had the public hearing on it, which is required.
Yeah.
Then you have to introduce it at this meeting. You have to suspend the rules to adopt it. Then you have to vote on adopting it. And 3 of the 5 have to approve adoption.
Yeah.
To suspend the
And
rules.
it has to be unanimous to suspend.
Right, that's what you have to suspend.
But I know time is of the essence for this, it has to be approved by the end of the month.
Yeah.
So let's just go through the
Take the steps.
process.
A motion to introduce.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye. A motion to suspend the rules.
I second it.
All in favor?
Probably
Aye.
roll call.
Do a roll call,
you gotta
that'd
do
be
a roll
better.
As soon as I said it, I knew.
Yeah.
As soon as I said it.
This has got to be unanimous.
Okay, roll call to suspend the rules. Bill Walters.
Yes.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
Randy Hurley.
Yes.
Tom Roberts.
Yes.
And Adam Jones.
Yes,
Motion to adopt.
get a second.
I second it.
Roll call again.
Randy Early,
Yes.
Tom Roberts.
Yes.
Bill Walters.
Yes.
Steve Rogan.
Yes.
And Adam Jones.
Yes.
Good.
Okay, well, people are signing on that. Any other business from the board?
I see. Let's do it again tonight.
You guys have some questions? Or we answered them?
Good.
You guys good? Amy, did you have any questions?
Give you guys some tech updates. Tomorrow, AT&T will be here. We're switching from Comcast. We fulfilled our agreement with them. They are providing 2/3 of their promised speed to us, so it's pretty slow. And their uploads are very slow, which where that comes into play is billing, any type of file uploads, police body cams, things like that. They're charging $330 a month, $380, $3 and some change a month.
309. 309.
AT&T, non-promotional fixed price of $170 for gig symmetrical, so
It's fixed.
fixed price. So that's gonna be a tremendous
Is
improvement.
that including any equipment too, like Comcast have the equipment?
Yeah, no, it's all
It's all,
that price. So I'll get our equipment changed over to that. The big impact that I know of is I'll have to get with Brad and Dan Wooten to change their monitoring software, because we'll get a different IP address. But that's a simple transition. Cameras, the servers came in at the end of last week. I got those installed. I'm having to make some changes, but the cameras are operational on there now. As soon as I get everything buttoned up, I'll start sharing links with you guys and easily view cameras at any time. But anyhow, things are progressing on that front.
Nice work.
Okay. I think that's it, yes.
I was wondering about some properties along mainly Walnut Street. They tore down a house on the end down here. And I was wondering, is there something that's supposed to go in there or what is that about?
We haven't been made aware of that, but that property owner is the same one that owns all the way up to the corner. So I don't know if there's a plan there or not.
You
But
mean
we-
the house next to it, what owns all of the rest of it?
from there on up to the intersection.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that house was used for like SWAT training or something.
Yeah, it was at one point, and that's why, and then it ended up tearing it
Yeah.
down. So the person that
Right, that was
owns,
just
that
a
house
house.
owns the whole entire, both houses, and the
Owns
whole
the
entire
whole-
property.
I see.
But we haven't heard anything.
4110, there's a 2-story house that's just kind of sitting there and going, very bad condition.
4110,
Uh-huh.
Yellow Road or
It's
what?
a 2-story,
Which
that
road?
2-story
which
house
road, which road?
Walnut,
Walnut?
on Walnut.
Oh, Walnut.
that's one Bratton mows all the time, because they don't
The
know
one
it.
right behind Anthony's.
Yeah,
That-
it's got.
That's, if I remember Anthony talking, that just sold.
Oh, it did?
I don't know,
Yeah, because
they got a
Anthony,
lot of liens they're gonna have to pay.
Anthony, Jim, they wanted it, I know he wanted it, but it was sold. An investor bought that and is supposed to rehab that house. I know it doesn't look like it's worth doing it, but some investor bought it because Jim went to the sale and he wanted to buy it and he backed it. It went, I think, don't quote me, I think it went
An
like
auction.
like $45,000.
Okay.
Well, they
And then
turned
there's
around
a-
and did
that-
across the Brad and Christmas house.
Then there's a, looks like a steel building, with 3 bays on 60, off of 67.
New one, yeah.
And it's a trucking, it could be a trucking repair. For the front end of semis.
Okay. Semi-repair.
Yes.
Okay, I think that might be it.
Good questions.
Okay.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
All right, thank you, everyone.
He doesn't.
Well, he is. Watch out, he'll hit you in the head.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I just heard the echo from last month.
I've seen one flying around, but where's the nest?
And I already know.
Beyond McClure's.
Right.
As you go across the river, to your left, just as soon as you get across the bridge.
We're
Giant size.
in between the river and the pond.
Halfway across the bridge, to your left. You can
You'll
see
see
it.
it, it's a
On the
giant.
left or
Yeah,
right?
it's-
East or west?
A west.
West side.
I'm smiling.
Is there, no, I'm not upset. I'm got a lady that I need to work really bad.
Yeah.
What she's in the street. Is there any type of reference? She might know.
Their state truck is called OOR.